Welcome to Blooming Wildwood Homestead. Today we are going to be planting some cucumbers into pots. This is something that sometimes people don't realize they can do, but even if you have a small area, maybe you have an apartment balcony or just a small backyard, you can still grow cucumbers in containers. I have a variety called the Patio Snacker, which is going to be a little bit smaller and perfectly fine for container gardening. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up. The main thing you want to remember here is that you're going to be trellising up your cucumbers. So you want to make sure that you have some way to be able to let them climb vertically so that they're not sprawling all over. Whereas in a more traditional garden, you may have your cucumbers kind of sprawling everywhere. So that's going to be the main difference with what we're doing here today. This variety and other varieties like it can also be planted in your full-blown garden. They're just really great for being able to trellis up, which is a big space saver, and it also keeps your cucumbers nice and clean and great for harvest. You're going to want to start with a pretty large container. I have some soil in here that's a mixture of topsoil and compost. I'm going to add a little peat moss. The goal of adding this peat moss is to try and keep the soil from drying out as quickly as it might otherwise in the container. We want to add plenty of water. While the peat moss will help to retain moisture, because it's dry to start with, we really need to get that moisture into the soil and the peat moss. If I didn't mention this already, whatever container you use, you will want some type of drainage at the bottom so that your water is not just sitting in there, but it will actually drain out. Next up, we want to put in our trellising unit. This happens to be one that my dad had made for me in order to do pole beans when I lived in town and I had smaller areas to work with, but I actually took it apart and now I can use half of it to trellis other items. So I'm going to put 2 cucumbers kind of here in the front, and then maybe 1 in the back, or if I just have 2, I'll do 1 on either side. It's really important that you put the trellis in first, just because then you can really plant close to whatever you're going to be trellising up. So since they're going to have that room to climb, I need it to be as close as possible so I can help weave it around the poles as it starts to grow more. And I did the same thing over here. So this one only has 2. I put both on the same side. I hope today's video was helpful to you. If you are in a small space and you haven't tried cucumbers in a container before, I would challenge you to give it a try this year. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the abundant production that you can get in such a small space. And it really is encouraging to have those fresh veggies during the summertime. If today's video was helpful, don't forget to like. We'd love to have you subscribe and be part of our community here at Blooming Wildwood Homestead. Until next time, bye everyone.